Whenever U.S. officials talk about protecting democracy, one question always lingers. If everything is supposedly done for the people, why does the middle class keep shrinking? The case of former National Security Advisor John Bolton and his controversial files offers a revealing glimpse into how decisions in Washington often come at the expense of ordinary Americans. John Bolton, who served as National Security Advisor under President Donald Trump, was known for taking meticulous notes during high-level meetings. These weren't just personal memos but detailed records of sensitive discussions on national security, diplomacy, and military affairs. After leaving the administration in 2019, Bolton kept these notes and published them in his 2020 memoir, The Room Where It Happened, just months before the presidential election. The move was widely seen as a political strike, but it also raised questions of national trust and security. The Trump administration sued to block the book's release, arguing it contained classified material. However, a federal judge refused to halt publication. Later, when Joe Biden entered the White House, his Justice Department quietly dropped the case, leaving one of the most serious breaches of classified handling unpunished. Bolton's story is not unique. Over the last decade, senior officials like James Clapper, Andrew McCabe, John Brennan, James Comey, and Anthony Fauci have faced accusations of abusing authority or misleading the public. Yet none faced serious accountability. Instead, they secured lucrative book deals, television contracts, and speaking engagements. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans dealt with stagnant wages, rising costs of healthcare and education, and policies such as unchecked immigration that directly undermine working-class livelihoods. Analysts argue that American universities and large corporations reinforce this elite worldview. Universities increasingly produce an administrative class more committed to global ideologies than local realities. Corporations, on the other hand, shape policies that favor cheap labor and international markets over domestic workers. This mindset has fueled policy changes that allow millions of foreign workers into the U.S., suppressing wages and making housing, education, and healthcare more expensive. As a result, the middle class has steadily lost purchasing power and influence. This same elitist attitude was evident in Bolton's decision-making, acting as though he stood above the public, convinced that his choices served a higher purpose, regardless of the consequences for ordinary citizens. But in recent years, a growing backlash has emerged. Grassroots boycotts, shifts in voter alignment, and rising political polarization show that many Americans are no longer willing to remain silent while the middle class erodes. John Bolton's secret files are more than a personal controversy. They symbolize a broader trend of unaccountable elites making decisions that disadvantage the very people they claim to serve. History shows, however, that when citizens demand accountability, even the most entrenched elites are forced to yield. The real question now is, does the American middle class still have the strength to change the